we're now streaming on all the other platforms as well. So say hello to YouTube. We are streaming
all the platforms. YouTube, what's up, man? What's up, YouTube?
Alrighty,
all right,
so
wherever you are.
This is a very exciting episode. Christmas is soon. Can't wait. We all can't sleep at night. We're just so pumped. And I'm going to press record in 3, 2, 1.
Leaders and healers, ladies and gentlemen, gamers and claimers from around the universe, from around the globe, from around the community, wherever you are in the world, welcome to the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast. I am your host, Anthony Cheam. Live to you now, speaker, author, life coach, trainer, friend to you, wanting to serve you, serving the greatest and most deepest parts of your soul so you can be the best version of yourself. And this is a show where we help you claim your power, clarify your purpose, and cultivate your deepest, widest, and highest passions possible so you can show up as a better, best, and sharpened version of yourself, and then ultimately inspire others to do the exact same thing for the world, because that's what it's all about. Claiming your power, clarifying your purpose, cultivating your deepest, widest, highest passions, serving other people, living abundantly, healthy, wealthy, and wise across the board in every role you play in every area of your life. So thank you for joining us. I am so stoked for this Monday afternoon podcast and starting the week off good. I've got a great case of the Mondays today, and I'm loving the fact that we're here. I'm loving the fact that we are ready to serve. I'm loving the fact we're ready to talk about a subject that I absolutely love. It's my favorite time of year, being Christmas, of course, and stress less during the holidays. We are less than 30 days counting down to Christmas. And for the people that don't know me out there, I am a Christmas fanatic. I just literally put up my Christmas tree on November 1st. I'm listening to Christmas music literally the day after Halloween, and I'm full tilt songs, lights, colors, lights, camera, action. You know, for me, shopping and thinking about other people, making other people feel good, because I just love making people feel good. Love people making people feel good through my training, through my coaching, through my books, through my seminars, through my speaking, through my music, through whatever I'm doing. I just want to make people feel good, because this is what it's all about. And you know what? This sort of the paradox for this time of year is a lot of people are stressed. This is one of the most stressful times of the year because it's winter. A lot of people suffer from SADS. Guess what? I do too. And I've done what I needed to do. And we won't talk about that in this session, but it's cold, work parties, commitments, year-end commitments, projects, traveling, shopping. I'm not sure if we're going to get it all done. And then we have that week between Christmas and New Year's. And that seems to be one of the, people, that's sort of the pinnacle, the apex of, what all the hard work we put in to get to basically give ourselves permission to have that week off. And it ends up being just a gluttony of punishment on our system because we end up eating too much and not getting enough sleep. But it is a time for rest. It is a time for gratitude. It is a time for spending time with family and friends and the people you really, truly care about. So thank you for joining us. We're going to talk about how to stress less during the holidays and how to maximize your ability to help people, to experience fulfillment, to really, really inculcate what it means to celebrate Christmas, if you do celebrate Christmas, that is, and give you the best emotional, spiritual, and physical awareness and how to make these next 30 days abundant and happy and joyful. So thank you. What's up, Kim? How you doing, man?
I'm doing really good. We actually just got a comment on Instagram. Would you mind reading that before I talk about my stuff?
Okay, so mine, Tori, how you doing, Tori? I need your prayers. My grandpa in California is placed in hospice and is slowly dying. I may not get to fly out to see him one last time. My heart is hurting today. Tori, my heart, my soul goes out to you. I'm sure I speak for Cam as well and everyone on this podcast. And thank you for joining us and sharing your pain and suffering here. I too lost my mother just a couple months ago, so I do know how that feels, and I'm here to support you on the show, in whatever capacity that we can support you. And these next few days, next few weeks, next few months are going to be very, very difficult for you, especially if you're really close to your grandfather. And I deeply, deeply apologize. My condolences to you, as we send out prayers of love and healing and grace towards your way. My deepest condolences. So the next 30 days, I mean, stressing less during the holidays. When you go through something like that leading up to the holidays, it's certainly hard to find meaning and fulfillment in the toughest times. But I've said this before, when you're in the suffering and the pain, it's hard to get out. It's hard to understand the meaning, because you can't see the picture when you're in the picture frame. You can't smell your own bad breath when you're the one actually having the bad breath until someone points it out to you. So finding deep meaning amongst your suffering, or what I like to call meeting amongst the mayhem, is deep and profound. That's what, for me, living a life of faith is all about, because to me, and in the end, love does win. That's how I live. Now, how can I prove that? I can't prove that, but that's what living a life of faith means. That love, call it God or Allah or spirit or divine or Tao or whatever you want to call it. I believe in that so wholeheartedly in my own journey, and in all these moments of inevitable sufferings that life throws at us are going to come at one stage of our life or another. And how we handle it is obviously going to determine the quality of our life, but also the lessons that we bring forth into the next stage of our life, so we can live more peacefully and more compassionately on our journey with other people. So with regards to Christmas, the next 30 days, for me, I literally every day I wake up just thinking, you know what, no matter what I do, I want to make someone's day happy. I want to make this day fulfilling. I want to make today, I'm going to insert and install as much joy into someone's life today, whether it be one person or 10 people, whether my kids or my wife, or even just myself, to meditate and pray every single morning for an hour and just sit in that awareness of that I'm deeply loved, I'm deeply cared for, just who I am, without my clothes, without the roles I play, whether I'm making money or not. I have that level of wisdom, of knowledge to know, not really wisdom or knowledge, but I trust that I am loved for who I am. And I just want to go out and share that. And so I think really this show is all about that. It's about spreading the awareness that you are love, and you are loved where you are. You were created in love. You must be like what you came from. And that's what you're here to do, is spread that throughout the rest of your life, each and every single day. And, Tori, I sympathize with you. I empathize with you. After I know Cam knows this, after my mom passed away, I literally did a podcast 2-3 days later. Took a couple of days off, but I was in deep pain, deep suffering. But I knew that my suffering, out of that suffering, would create, as Rumi said, I'm paraphrasing here, there's more love out of a broken heart. And I trusted that my heart was broken. I was suffering, but I knew that out of that suffering, more love could pierce deeper in me, so that I could provide greater wisdom and greater love to the people that I'm caring for and teaching and coaching and speaking to. So shout outs to you, Tori, again. But yeah, for the next 30 days, 3 things I suggest. Wake up every single day and make it a commitment that you will make Christmas today for somebody else. Make Christmas, because Christmas can mean so many different things. Obviously, it is the original meaning of Christmas is obviously Jesus Christ's birth, Santa Claus, all these things. But for other people, it doesn't mean that necessarily. And whether you agree with that or not, but it is a time for caring and sharing and giving and reflecting and examining your life and sharing with others your gifts, basically free, without any thought of outcome, without any thought of, because to me, I honestly, truthfully, people that know me, I don't really care so much about getting presents. I care so much about giving it. Presents in the form of time, presents in the form of money, presents in the form of sharing my gifts and my talents, presents in the form of just a random act of kindness or a kind word or a comment. So each and every single day, I try to inculcate what Christmas is about every single day, regardless of what time it is a year. And one of the best ways to do that is to wake up and just pick one person and just say, how can I make Christmas real for somebody today? And Tori, I'm hoping that you're listening to this, and I'm hoping to provide that sort of ease, that level of equanimity during this time as much as I can for you during this tough time. And again, prayers out to you. And number 2, so once you make that commitment in making Christmas to be a fulfilling present moment reality today, regardless if it's December 25th, number 2, go out and do it. Whether it be send a text, write a letter, call that person and say, you know what, I was thinking about you. And I was thinking about Christmas, and I was just thinking about everything I'm grateful for. And I just want to let you know, I am absolutely grateful. You are a Christmas present under my tree every single time I wake up, because you are in my life. Something like that. Make it out to somebody. And whatever religious terms you're going to use, or what you could use, Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever you're doing, it really doesn't matter whether you celebrate Christmas or not. Make Christmas out for somebody else today. Make it real for somebody today. And number 3, This is what I highly recommend for the people that are highly stressed during this time, that have work commitments, that are eating tons of food, that are, over consumption of alcohol, over consumption of food, not enough sleep. Understand this: by doing that, you will enter into the holidays, the flu season, the quote unquote flu season. What I highly recommend you do is pick one day during the week, whether it be Sunday or Saturday, where you literally commit to a period of time where you are just going to be and do nothing. Allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself to be without any work commitments or home chores or I got to work out, all these things. I know I have a lot for me, myself. I used to have this idea. Oh, I'm going to eat crazy amounts of treats and food, and I don't drink alcohol, but whatever it might be, I'm going to eat. And then that means to counteract that, I'm going to work out more. But that creates even more stress in my body. So I end up getting sick, a lot of times I thought I was healthy, but I wasn't. I was consuming tons of sugar and baked goods and stuff like that. Not to say that's bad. I'm just saying, understand that for every action, there's a reaction. You start polluting your body and then exercising more on top of it, the byproduct that is just acid, which creates an environment for sickness and disease and viruses just to proliferate and then take over your body. And that's why a lot of times, we call it the flu season, because we enter into December, cold weather, overconsumption of alcohol, overconsumption of food, overstress, not enough sleep. And then we go into Christmas, Thanksgiving, all these things, American Thanksgiving, that is. And then, Christmas, and then the New Year's, we cap it off by drinking tons of alcohol too. And then we have the stress of cold, right? Winter, the holidays are over. I know for me, the holidays used to be like, my gosh, January 1st, January 2nd was like, oh my God, depression, cold, rainy, wet, dark. And it becomes very, very hard for a lot of people going into January and February. Those are the toughest times for me. I realize it's not just a psychological thing for me, but it is a physiological thing for me as well. And I won't get into that, but I do have the seasonal affective disorder, and I don't have it as bad anymore because I do know some techniques and how to counteract it as best I can, so I can actually, live peacefully through that and live smoothly through that and give myself permission to rest more and to love myself more. And that way I can also give more compassion to other people as well. I know if I'm going off on a tangent here. Sorry, Cam. What do you think about these comments, man?
My mic took a while to turn on.
That's okay.
No, I absolutely love everything you're saying, and I really enjoyed the last thing. Is just give yourself time to chill, because it's weird. Like, there's two things I say to people when they are like, imagine, oh man, I'm so stressed. My life is really overwhelming right now. I don't know what to do. It feels like, there's a 10-pound ton of weight on my shoulders or whatever, probably 10, you know what I mean? There's a lot going on in my life. I'm very overwhelmed. Yes. Can't even explain it. I'm so overwhelmed. And what I would say is, number one, the fact that you're aware of it is amazing. Most people just feel it, and then, they'll go drink alcohol, or they'll go smoke cigarettes, or they'll go watch TV, and they don't even realize what they're doing. And then 10 years pass and you've been abusing drugs for, you know what I mean? Like, the fact that you have that awareness is the first step, and you deserve to give yourself a pat on the back. And then I would say, you don't need to be happy. You don't need to be free from stress. You don't need to be anything. It's okay to be stressed. It doesn't feel nice, but the moment you let it happen is the moment life presents opportunities so that you can get rid of it. It sounds very esoteric and like whatever, but really there's a blockage in your brain. It seems, when you resist something, I really don't want to be stressed. I don't want to be stressed. And I think Tony Robbins calls it the reticular activating system, where you're focusing on the fact that you don't want stress. Our brains are really good at pointing out the things that we don't want, and really good at noticing the things that we don't want. And so stop not wanting stress. Be cool with it. It's fine. It's stress. Big deal. Before you know it, you're literally just going to be dead. And then where's your stress? You know what I mean? It sounds morbid, but really,
yes.
This is such a temporary, life is short kind of thing. It's fine. Yes. You'll be okay. It's not the end of the world. When a kid cries that he couldn't get his ice cream, you look at it from an adult perspective and you're like, wow, Like, it's okay. Next week he's gonna be laughing about, like, he's gonna, you know,
in 1 minute he's gonna be laughing.
Yeah, right? Exactly. In that half second, he's gonna get, you know, some chocolate milk and he's gonna be fine. But
yeah,
when it comes to adults, we're the same way. We're just big kids. Like, we'll cry and freak out about a little situation of stress, feeling like it's the end of the world, when you know, a couple months down the line, or maybe even a year, I don't know, we'll look back at the situation and be like, wow, that wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it was. And I'm sure every single person can relate to that. So when you just, those two things, give yourself credit for being aware of the fact that, wow, I know that I'm stressed. I know where I'm at right now. I know what I want, which is to get out of this. And then two, accept it for what it is. Don't resist it any longer, because, as an example, trying to really explain this. Okay. My favorite way of explaining this is the person who wanted to invent a light bulb wasn't sitting around thinking about what makes things dark. The person who wanted to create a light bulb was like, okay, well, light comes from heat, fire. You know, when electricity lights up a coil, a metal coil, and creates heat, and it lights up, and there we go. We got a light bulb. So I'm going to go play around with these ice cubes right now. Like, it doesn't, you know, like, you have to focus and work with the tools that will create happiness and peace, not the tools that create stress and whatever. So really look at it from that perspective and just like, I'm cool. What is it that creates peace? Not what is it that gets rid of stress, but what is it that creates peace? And start with that. It could just literally, for me, it's having a tea, listening to a podcast, and just staring out my window for 30 minutes every morning. Like, I just think to myself. Thankfully, my mind is a happy place. So I'm just sort of like just thinking about, I'm daydreaming the entire time. But whatever it is for you, find out what creates peace. Not what gets rid of stress, but what creates peace. And I'll leave just my you know, big spiel here with the fact that we got that message from, was it Tori on Instagram?
Tori, yeah.
Little things like that. When you look at the big picture, we don't see it when we're so in it. But when you take a step back and realize that, you know, like, there's more important things in life right now than how can I wrap these gifts? You know, like, it's crazy. When John Lennon passed away, the first time everybody heard about it was at a football game. And a guy who worked at the football stadium was in the hospital, and he overheard people, like doctors, saying, hey, John Lennon just got shot and he died, blah, 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 you know? And he's like, excuse me, did you just say John Lennon? And he called up his the announcers at the stadium. There's a football game going on, and during commercial break, they had to decide whether or not to, like, say anything or whatever, or let the game go on, like, all these things. Commercial break was done, and the announcer really, like, it's funny, like, the contrast between before commercial break. They're like, this is an intense game. This is crazy. Everybody's money's on the line. Who knows what's gonna happen? Oh my god. And then after commercial break, he's like, ladies and gentlemen, you know, a legend just got murdered. This, it doesn't matter who wins. It doesn't matter who loses. It's just a football game. And that he lived, those were his words. I mean, I'm paraphrasing just a little, but he said, it's just a football game. And when you realize that, you know, the holidays it's just a football game, and there are more important things. Like, if this was the last 10 minutes of your life, as Anthony always says, what is important right now? You know, the people probably with you right now, or whatever it might be. So yeah, just that contrast is very, very nice to look to, like, just to see, just to know that, wow, okay, this isn't as intense as it has to be.
Wow. Well said there, Cam. And to that effect, I think, you know, I often say to people, death teaches you more about life than life can teach you about life. And Tori, that if you're still listening right now to this podcast, maybe perhaps you take the time to deeply connect with your grandfather, even more so than ever, you know, either through spiritual realm or through a phone call, and just be totally present with your grandfather. And if this was the last 10 minutes, last time you're going to talk to your grandfather, how present will you be? How much love do you want to share with your grandfather, and make it count? Because even in the last moments with my mother, I was deeply crying. As I performed CPR, my mother, I was the last person that she saw basically while she was alive. As much as I look back at it now and I go, wow, at least I got to spend those final moments with my mother. And she saw me. I just had this deep knowing that she was there, seeing me, saying, "Oh my gosh, there's my son," as she crossed over, whatever your spiritual beliefs are, of course. And I now have a deeper level appreciation when I'm with my kids, when I'm with my wife, the people I care about, that if this is the last 5 minutes and I'm going to die, I want to make sure this is the best podcast I can ever do. And whatever I say in those moments will be whispered and echoed in eternity. And it's all about being present. And so, as I said, death teaches you a lot about more life than life can teach you about life. And sometimes we got to, as you know, another way to say it other than what Cam said, it is just to die to the moment, die to what's really important, or what our ego says is important, and be born again to what's really important. That is to love, to share, to care, to express ourselves authentically, and to grow, and to be empty when we finally do die. That we're going to be, we came from ashes and dust. We're going to return to ashes and dust. We came to this world naked. We're going to leave this world naked. We can't take anything of it with you. Christmas is just another external trigger for me and for other people, just to, make an excuse to be happy. But you really don't need that, really, at the end of the day. But I know we're going off topic here, but hopefully you guys got a lot of this podcast. Next 30 days, really enjoy it. Spend time with yourself. Sit with the tension. If you're stressed, give yourself that permission just to sit with it, just to be with it. Don't deny it. Acknowledge where it is in your body. Acknowledge it's in your mind. And then, as Cam said, shift your focus on what you do want rather than what you don't want. And very powerful things can be transformed within you. You'll find yourself not being a victim of your stress, but being a commander of your stress, and a commander and claimer of your life and all of your power. So thank you for joining on this podcast, and the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast. If you like it, comment, like, share it, ask questions, whatever you got. Thank you, Tori, for tuning in and sharing us with us with your grandfather. And God bless you and your family and your grandfather on this very, very stressful and tough time, and very cherishing time for you. So thank you for joining us to your continued upgrade and evolution. Live it up with power, purpose, and passion. Thank you, guys. God bless.